This will get you absolutely shredded with superhuman strength and skill. But if you don't have 5 to 10 minutes to watch this video, I really don't know what to tell you. And I've done this for thousands of people and maintain a high level of strength and skill, and have done this for over 32 years. So you should listen and implement what I'm going to share with you today. And if you don't do these things that I'm going to share with you, then you're going to be lugging around a weight vest of excess body fat that's going to prevent you from doing and maintaining all of the high level strength and skill and activity and really just enjoying life. And I know that that is really everyone's main goal, is enjoying life. So let's get into training. Now, like I said, if you don't implement what I'm going to show you, you're going to be dragging around all kinds of extra weight. It's going to be a struggle to do your pull-ups, to do your dips, to progress to anything else that's meaningful, like bridges and back walkovers and the athletic longevity, which is really the main emphasis of what I'm trying to communicate in these videos. I call it body mastery as well, which really is more than just basic fitness. And we're going to talk about these pieces so that you can tie all of these together and really make some serious progress this year. And I know that you can. I'm absolutely certain that you can make a significant amount of progress. So the first thing that we need to talk about is exactly that, the physique aspect of things. And if you implement this principle, then you're going to transform your body to be able to have this new avatar of strength and skill. And so we've got to have the nutrition talk. I've got to do the nutrition rant, okay? And I know a lot of people have asked me in the comments and through email and direct message and stuff, what do you do for nutrition? How do you, what's the eating? And I'm going to break it down. It's not rocket science. So let's start right there, okay? I'm going to show what I have done, what I usually typically maintain, no matter if I'm just training at the gym or if I'm outside or if I'm traveling. We just got back from a competition, martial arts competition, and then surfing pretty much every day, and then training pretty much every day too. And so we're talking about a lot of volume of training. But here it is. I'll just break it down. It's super simple. And I've done this. This is something that I've done pretty much off and on for decades. And so basically 5 to 6 meals a day, and 3 of those are protein shakes. So that's just what I do. And again, if you're not implementing these things, then you're going to have dire consequences in the long run. So 3 of these are protein drinks. I use almond milk. I'm not a huge fan of like dairy milk and stuff. And then it's pretty simple. One of them is a vegan style, and then another one is just whey protein. And so 3 of those per day, and then I have 3 meals. So it's like, I'll do like 4, 5, 6 eggs, depending on how I'm feeling. And then avocado and veggies and things like that, potato, onions. And then the other 2 meals, so one of them will be like bison, and pretty much the same thing, like the veggies, onions, maybe some potato. And then another one of just eggs. So I keep it super simple. Like I said, it's not rocket science, but listen, so many people, like 99% of people, are overcomplicating this. And there are so many channels out there that are advocating all these freaking diets and everything else that you should do, or else you're gonna kill your gains and all this bull crap. Really, get an app, set your goals, and track it, and have the discipline to actually do it. No, I'm giving you this stuff for free so that you can just implement this stuff, start to see some transformation, and heck, maybe you'll want to train with us and improve to higher levels of strength and skill, even to superhuman. And what I mean by superhuman is the top 1%, okay? So kind of like if you make the comparison to like business terms, all right? The top 1% is, in America, I believe it's like 300 or 400K per year of income. And so in the physical training side, the top 1% is V-stands, muscle-ups, handstands, and those are actually relatively basic, okay, in the grand scheme of things. And I got people that'll comment and say, oh, the things that you're saying are not basic. I've been struggling on this for years. Well, you're doing the wrong things in the wrong amount with the wrong intensity and in the wrong way, okay? Bridges and being able to sprint and being able to jump high and being able to kick and being able to even flip or do muscle-ups or a set of confident, powerful pull-ups, a set of 10 or a set of 10 dips or a press handstand. These are things that every human being should be able to do. Okay, so again, when we talk about the top 1%, we're just getting started there. And in reality, most of the population is kind of at a remedial level. They're dealing with physical illiteracy. They're dealing with not being able to run, sprint, jump without fear of injury. So perhaps they're walking around with back pain because of the excess weight that we just talked about. And so getting rid of that. A lot of people say that abs are made in the kitchen, and there's a lot of truth to that. But there's another piece to this whole puzzle that I want to take a couple of minutes to talk about, okay? And again, this is my nutrition rant. Number one, keep your foods and stuff simple. You know how to eat. You shouldn't be cramming down sugar. And yeah, I'm going to say it. If you want any semblance of higher level strength, skill, sustainability, most of the people are walking around with back pain, with 20, 30, 40 pounds that they need to lose. They're walking around with mental fog, brain fog, lack of clarity. And they're doing it to themselves because they're just not making the right choices. And this choice is a big one. And if, like I said, you want any higher levels of strength, skill, and sustainability, the alcohol is going to preclude that. It's going to be your worst enemy. Now you're going to hear people say, oh, it's okay every once in a while, blah, 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 blah. I just don't do it. I keep it simple, okay? Sometimes the sugar gets in here and there. We live in such a sugar intense culture. You know, I had some ice cream the other day, but I hadn't had sugar. I was thinking about it in like months, like no soda. I just drink water. That's it. That's the other thing, is getting your water intake high. So shifting gears into the next piece though, okay? So nutrition is simple. And even if there are not tendencies, but you know, it might be a little bit more on a particular day, or having some sugar on a particular day or whatever. This next thing that I'm going to share offsets all of that, okay? So again, nutrition is so simple, but you just have to have the discipline and mental fortitude to just not do what the masses are doing and then implement this next thing, which is your training. Now, training, people always ask this one too. How often should you be training? How many days a week? How many minutes per day? Really, the training builds you into a higher level avatar, okay? It brings you into that top 10%, top 5%, top 1%. Just like a person that is, you know, advancing through a career, and then maybe they decide to switch gears and they go entrepreneur, and then they decide to build a business, and then they decide to start to invest, and they're going through it almost like a video game on a financial business side of things. The physical training is the same thing. So we're dealing with basics of nutrition and then the physical training. And then as we progress, those next level skills are giving you pieces to the puzzle that help you to sustain it for life. So it's literally changing things like your nervous system, your muscle, your connective tissue, the way you think, and all of those things then affect what your body looks like. It's literally affecting, for example, at a basic level, your metabolism, okay? It's affecting how your body responds to stress and to the intakes that you have and the inputs that you give it, whether that's nutrition or sleep or anything else. So the training, there's this sort of 30 minutes to 90 minutes, maybe up to 3 hours a day. If you're a super high professional Olympic level athlete, it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. But typically it's going to be between kind of the 30-minute and 90-minute per day thing. Now, you cannot make this mistake, and this is a mistake that 99% of people, again, make. And that's why they're walking around as virtual zombies in this world. They can't do a set of 20 pull-ups. They can't even do a single muscle up. A V-stand is like bananas. And it shouldn't be. It should be normal human strength and movement. Just some basics, okay? But this is the mistake that they're making. They're thinking that 30 minutes, and you see all those programs, 6-pack in 6 minutes, whatever. Even 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Okay, you got to get in there and do your workout and do that on 3, 4, 5 days a week, okay? That is a huge mistake. If a person is sedentary all day, which like 80, 90% of the occupations are sedentary, okay? Even things that are requiring hands-on, a lot of construction, a lot of labor type jobs, there's a lot of sitting and waiting, driving the machine to such and such a place, doing the pickup, loading, unloading, then waiting for more. But you cannot think that you're going to offset 23 hours a day of sedentary nothing, where your brain is on overdrive. A lot of high performance careers, the brain is on overdrive, which is completely different neural activity than physical activity. Your brain is craving all of this sugar, all of this glucose to keep running and keep burning, especially if, you know, working as an attorney, an engineer, architect, you know, all like more of like that type of career style. A lot of sedentary, but the brain is going on overdrive. And then you're thinking that a 30-minute, 45-minute, 60-minute, even 90 minutes a day is going to offset all of that. It's just simply not. The only thing that's going to offset all of that is to have the rest of the day featuring normal human movement too. And so being up and moving, a lot of people talk about the steps, you know, 10K steps. If you've got to focus on, like I just talked about this with the students, and I regularly address this, and that is this. If you're training, let's say 3 days a week, okay, the other days are not just off days or rest days. They're not. You should be training 7 days a week. And by training, I mean being physical. So doing your hike, getting in the water, doing a water sport, maybe doing some martial arts, going on a run, just playing outside with your kids, climbing trees, gardening, doing hands-on work. So those kind of things should be part of the daily activity in addition to the training. The training itself is not going to offset a life of, well, physical laziness. I'll just call it what it is. Even if a person is working a high performance job and they're sedentary and they're not moving, the brain that's building a habit of, okay, I'm getting things done, I'm in the zone, I'm working, I'm accomplishing all these things. And that's what the brain is thinking, and then that's what the body's believing, and then the body isn't really gonna wanna respond. And then that's why you're feeling old and worn out and everything, because you're building these habits that are not allowing the body to shift gears and to go and do what it's made to do, and that is move, okay? Now, let's shift into the next piece, because you guys want to know about the training, and you're not going to just sit here and listen to me say, oh, it's just a nutrition and an active lifestyle. So the training is not going to offset the rest of the lifestyle, but if you don't have the training, then you're never going to elevate. You're never going to get higher. And so that's where the skinny fat comes in. That's where a person, like if you've seen people jog, they jog all of the time, but they're still a little overweight. So the training starts to level you up into your new avatar of strength and skill. And this is what just reinforces everything, brings everything together. Here's the numbers, because I know you guys want numbers. And I often say, okay, at bare minimum for training is this. You've got 2 days a week is what I say. 2 days a week is your bare minimum. You're just getting going again, just starting to move. 2 days a week, maybe a half hour, something like that, but it should not stay there. You should be leveling up. 2 days a week minimum is enough to get you through what we call foundation level. And a couple of things on foundation level include things like horse stance, chin up, bridge, et cetera. There's also something called a kata that we use that puts all these skills together. But 2 days a week of training is enough to get you kind of into foundation or beyond foundation, maybe past level 1 or 2. And then I've got to talk to the students all the time and say, And whether that's face-to-face or online training. And we're about to go to France this year for our international workshop, where we'll get to meet, you know, more online students. And then there's a lot of people that they're like retreat hoppers, and they hit each one, and it's awesome because you see like massive progress at a retreat, and then the consistency of the training, and then boom, another retreat, and then more consistency of training supported by the coaching and everything else. But the deal is this, is that oftentimes I've got to talk to the students and say, hey, you know, you don't just drink water once a week. You know what I'm saying? The same goes for your training too. So if you're at 2-3 days a week, and then you will get stuck at particular levels. And that's what, again, like I pick on the mainstream, but 99% of the human population is stuck at these remedial levels. And they think that they're gonna get any better just by doing 2, 3, 4 days a week, or they're doing the mainstream methods in the gym, like 30, 60 minutes. So I gotta give the reminder of, all right, time to level it up now. If you're training 2 days a week with custom training and you're making some progress and stuff, then it's time to jump up to 3 days a week. But you can't stay there. So maybe in a month or two, you start to jump up to 4 days a week. Maybe in another month or two, you'll be up at 4 or 5 days a week, okay? And then in 6 months, a year, you're gonna be unrecognizable if you start implementing these things that I'm talking about in this video. If you don't, you're gonna be carrying around that sack of potatoes every day. You're not gonna be feeling good. Your brain is gonna be slowed down, and that's a fact. The brain is going to be slowed down because of the poor nutrition, the excess weight, the lack of good circulation, the lack of muscle mass that allows you to be more physically active. And so that is the tiered leveling up. And then I always say this too, like you're going to get stuck at particular levels. So let me know in the comments if you're stuck, you know, right? Stuck. But, for example, a person, they might get to the point where they can do like 13 or 14 pull-ups, okay? But they're trying to get that muscle up. I know for a fact that the magic number is 20 pull-ups to get to the muscle up. Then there's a lot of other moves too, that the magic number seems to be about 20. And if you can get to that point, but here's the thing though, people get stuck at 13 or 14 and they think, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep doing what I'm doing, or maybe more of what I'm doing, and then I'll get to 20. It doesn't work that way. There's gonna be modifications that you have to make, of course, with increased volume, so they go hand in hand. So you can't just do more of the same sometimes. You gotta increase the volume and then increase the specificity of what you're trying to do. And the specificity is unique from to each individual, guaranteed, okay? For example, if a person has extremely flexible shoulders, then the work to get to the muscle up is going to be completely different than a person who has tight shoulders and a prior injury history and perhaps a surgery. The exercise protocols are going to be completely different to get those people to that particular level. But the discussion remains though, and that is this, that I'll have to say, look, you want to get to the next level, you got to get in here more. So time to level up. So level like getting past level 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6, you can do that with about 3 days a week of training. If you want to start getting to more advanced levels, 6, 7, 8, 9, then it's going to be like 4 or 5 days a week of training. And that's where people, like, they freak out and they get overwhelmed. They're like, oh, I got to train this many days a week. That, well, you have a body, don't you? Just the same way that you have a mouth that's capable of speaking. You don't speak English or whatever your native language is only once, twice, 3 times a week. It's part of your life. And that is what changes you into a new avatar of strength and skill. Because, listen, and here is the punchline for this video, you're not going to be the same person. Let that sink in. To get where you want to be, and I know you've got goals, that person that you are that has those goals is not going to achieve those goals. The new person that you're going to turn into is the one that is going to achieve those goals and have the shredded superhuman strength and skill that I'm talking about. Implement these principles, get into coaching, send me a message, drop a comment. I'll see you guys in the next video.